Alright, so this is the Jerry Graves channel. We talk about everything, mainly mastering your flow and how to deal with narcs and psychopaths. I'm gonna jump right into it. This is about how toxic people try to castrate you. Um, Basically, they try to get in between you and any relationship you have with the opposite sex. They'll spread lies. They'll do anything. They'll give you just bad looks and dirty looks in front of her to make you seem like you're less than you are. So, and basically try to bust up your status and make you just as undesirable as they can. And it sucks that people do this. It's one of those things where it's like it's not enough just having the normal narcissistic supply. They're like trying to destroy everything. And if you have narcissistic parents, they'll do the same thing. They'll try to stop you from procreating, even though they're your parents, even though you have their genes. They'll try to embarrass you in front of women and just basically destroy you completely. And that's what it's like. It's like they want to completely destroy you. They want to make sure you don't have kids. You know, they want you to die young. They want all of that. And I had my mom and my dad were narcs, and I had a friend who was a narcissist, and he's not really my friend. I call him my air quote friend. So anyway, my air quote friend, like, he would introduce me to a girl, and then later on start talking trash about me to that female, and kind of take that away from me in a way that I wouldn't expect. Like, I just didn't think of that, just because I was in high school, and I'm like, I just didn't think that another person could be that evil at such a young age. But yeah, so my mom would do it and my dad would do it. And so my mom, there was times where I would go over to like one of her friends' house, and they would have daughters or and a friend or something like that. And if one of the girls would be interested in me, she would straight tell them, "No, you don't want to be with him." She wouldn't say that in front of me, but she would go and tell them that, and then come tell me that she said that, like, on some bold stuff. Like, "Oh, he's not anybody. Like, you shouldn't like him. Like, the way that he treats me, or something like that." And it would work. There was one particular time where I seen a like girl that I was like, dang, this girl's really cute. And come to find out, my mom did this nonsense, and came and told me. So yeah, so she would just straight do that. And my dad would be the type of person who would get on the phone or and try to embarrass you in front of people. Basically, that's his thing. And all of that, like, all three of these people kind of would go through and do enough to stop enough relationships to where it'll throw off your flow. So it's like, occasionally, one of the like, you'd meet somebody who that they don't know, who they don't have any influence over, but now they fall into your lap, and now it's like you don't know what to do with it because your flow is thrown off now. So anyway, one particular time, my air quote friend introduced me to a girl, and then he starts telling her stuff that I said. Cause I'm saying stuff, and I'm thinking that it's not a big deal. He's not gonna tell her, and so he tells her something that I didn't want her to hear, and so she has a big problem. She's crying or whatever, and comes to find out, right, my mom knows her because my mom was a hairdresser and she does her hair. So my mom gives me a call. It's like, she actually talked to my friend first, and he's looking really weird. I never seen him make this face before, but basically, like, he's been caught. So he's like seriously, like, thinking really hard and rubbing his fingers together and rubbing his chin, and spaced out. And then he gives me the phone and she tells me what happened. Oh, he said this. And did you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? She kept saying that to me in front. And I know that she was in front of that girl. And by the way, my friend lived with me. My air quote friend lived with me at the time. That's how she knew that he was there, and she was talking to him. So anyway, that ruined that relationship. And then my air quote friend um denies everything, even though I know that I said that. So we both know that he told her, and he just denied it all the way to the end. She even forwarded me his messages to her, and he still denied it. Like, and I was like, man, this guy, there's something really like up with this person. He's not who I thought he was. Blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be the person who's trying to constantly talk to the same females that I'm talking to. Not even because he likes them, like he doesn't know them, but he would introduce himself if he heard that I was talking to that person, and then try to sway her away from me, right? So, um, the point is that you can get like all these people. If you have the wrong people around you, they'll basically try to castrate you. And it doesn't have to be like your relatives or one person in particular. You can get to the point where you're being gang stalked, and have a whole town full of people trying to destroy your relationship. And it's weird, but it doesn't take um it sounds like, oh, that's far-fetched, but it's just little things that people say. It doesn't really take that much to sway somebody's opinion away from someone, especially if you're talking about females, just because they're so most women are really wrapped up in, especially like in high school, which all this happened that I'm talking about in high school because I kind of started cutting certain people out of my life. So, you know, I don't have any real recent stories of that happening, but, you know, it's happened to me still, kind of, but it'd be happening from like afar, or like at work or something like that. Not where I can't really get away from it type situation. Um, but anyway, so yeah, uh, so yeah, you end up having people from that like I had a girl in high school who was saying that I don't get out much, basically, to some chick that I was talking to. And the weird thing was that I was reading through, it wasn't weird that I was reading through, but it was just weird because, for one, she later tried to like me and her really didn't know each other, right? We probably talked maybe like 3 or 4 times, like the whole time I had been there. And I actually originally liked this female who started talking trash about me and to this new girl. And then so it worked. Like she cut it off. So anyway, like years later, I'm in the military, and this female that was talking trash, she hits me up. She has a kid, and she's like basically like trying to get with me and trying to get me, and she's doing it quick. It's not like even on some let's exchange a few messages. It's like, let's hook up, let's fly out, like right off the top. Like she wanted to basically take advantage of my benefits and she thought I was like a sucker. I don't know, but that didn't happen, so obviously I'm not that stupid, but anyway, so it was just weird that she would say that. And people do, that's all it takes. Like when I say being gang stalked, like some people, like that pulls people out of it, like, oh well, gang stalking, you know that could be imagined, you could be imagining that, but it doesn't have to be nothing super sophisticated. It's just little things that people say, and to sway people's opinion about you. And it's crazy because I didn't even really know that female who said that, right? I didn't know her. Like, I barely knew her, and we only been around each other like 2 or 3 times, and she didn't know me. Like, I I did. I'm definitely, anybody who actually knew me in high school knew that I'm not the type of person. Basically, what she said was just a lie. So I'm like, I was thinking about that. Like, why would she just straight lie like that? But it's because, like I said, um, if they want to bully you, it's an indirect way of doing it. It's like, I just want to see you not happy. I just want to see you where I just don't want you to succeed, even in with a woman. Like, I just don't want to see you happy, and that's what they do. And it could be somebody that you barely know, who has no real dog in the fight, and they'll come through and say something negative about you, and you're like, what in the hell? Like, why would you say, like, why I didn't even know you guys knew each other. Like, why are you saying that? Now, again, I'm talking about high school because, like, I have more examples from that because I had that many people in my life. But there's recent stuff like that happens, and it just happens all the time. And again, they're just trying to, they don't want you to even procreate. They don't want you to pass your DNA on. Like, they just want to stop all of that, just so that they can get a laugh in at the end of the day. Just so that they can laugh at you for not being able to succeed. And then when you start getting awkward, I don't know if I already said this, but like, it breaks your flow, because at the end of the day, you're so used to stuff not going right, and then when it does go right, you don't know what to do. I don't know, but that's all I really got. Um, it's really weird that people do this. It's very frustrating, but if it's happening to you, you kind of have to um get good at not bobbling when things come into when stuff. I had so many things in high school that just fell into my lap, and I can count on one hand how many times I actually um things actually worked out the way that they were supposed to. I'm like, I've had a lot of stuff just fall into my lap, and my flow was broken. I didn't know what to do before, and what's crazy is that I never had problems before that. Like, I'm talking around, this is around senior year. I never really had problems with the opposite sex. Like, I was smooth, but when this starts to happen, like I said, it breaks your flow, and then it starts to ruin everything. Like, you can't get your rhythm right. You don't know, and it's not a big deal. Like, I, I I'm not the type of person that worries about high school or anything, but it's not a big deal or anything. It's just kind of like, I guess it's just something to learn from, I guess.